Hello and welcome to the 9 p.m. daily quiz. I hope all of you are doing good, and I welcome you back to this session where we discuss the most important news stories from a prelims examination point of view every single day by converting them into prelims specific questions. Whenever you see the question on the screen, ideally you should pause, think about what the answer would be, and then play again to see if you gave the correct answer or not. In the comment section, do tell me your score as well so that we can see if you already read these things or not. If you're new here, I would highly appreciate if you hit the subscribe button to get notification about all the other initiatives that I take on this channel. I recently, that is yesterday, uploaded a video for PSIR students, those who are PSIR optional. I have uploaded a recording of my class where I have been discussing different generations of human rights. You can watch that as well on my YouTube channel. Also, if you're new here and you want to check out my other courses, I have an app called Harshmeet Study Circle. The link is in the description of the video. You can download the app to check out the other courses that I'm offering, including personal mentorship programs for prelims and for means answer writing, PSIR optional course, and much, much more. On that note, let's begin with the first question then. Consider the following statements. Number one, Section 19 of PMLA, that is Prevention of Money Laundering Act, gives ED, that is Enforcement Directorate, the power of arrest if the material it possesses gives it reason to believe an individual is guilty of money laundering. Second, Supreme Court has held that ED is bound to supply the accused with a copy of Enforcement Directorate Enforcement Case Information Report, which is similar to an FIR. Third, an accused has a fundamental right to be informed of the grounds of arrest under Article 20 of the Constitution of India. How many of these are correct? ED, PMLA, these are those kind of things that remain in the news time and time again. First statement is true. The ED can arrest the person if they believe that the materials that they have is proof enough that you were involved in money laundering. Second is wrong. Interestingly, ED's version of FIR is called ECIR, that is Enforcement Case Information Report. Now, a lot of times when the ED arrests a specific person, they do not give a copy of ECIR. That has become a cause of concern because if you don't have a copy of this, you cannot fight for your bail because you will never know the exact grounds on which you were arrested. But the Supreme Court has said that ED is not bound to give you the copy of this report. They will just tell you the grounds for being arrested orally. That is good enough, but they don't have to give you this copy like the FIR. Third statement is correct. The accused has a right to be known or has a right to know on the ground that he or she was arrested, but even oral communication, verbal communication would be good enough. So the answer here would be B. Two of these given statements are correct. The second statement in the middle is wrong. The Indian Express has this detailed article about how Supreme Court has centered the rights of accused in the recent PMLA cases. Next, question number 2. Consider the following statements. Number 1. While the weak stocks in government go downs, we are talking about the Indian government, while the weak stocks in the government go downs are at an all-time high, the rice stocks are lingering at their lowest level in recent years. Second, wheat is harvested and marketed during April to June, whereas the main Kharif rice crop comes only from October. Third, UP and Punjab are the top two rice producing states in India. How many of these are correct? Now, rice and wheat are two of the most commonly grown crops in India, and there are a lot of different debates and discussion around it, whether we need so much rice or wheat or not. First statement is wrong. Actually, the rice stocks in India are at an all-time high, while the wheat stocks, on the other hand, are lingering at their lowest level in the recent years. Rice production, now rice is one of those crops that is grown in both Rabi and Kharif season. So rice production is usually anyways higher. Rice stocks with the government, with Food Corporation of India, FCI, are usually higher than wheat only, but now the gap is even increasing. While the wheat stocks are getting lower, the rice stocks are increasing. Second is true. As I said, rice is grown in Kharif season also, Rabi season also. The Kharif season rice comes only in October. Third is wrong. Top two rice producing states are not UP and Punjab. I will not tell you the correct answer here. You have to tell me the correct version of this statement in the comment section. Tell me in the comment section, if UP and Punjab are not the top two rice producing states in the country, then which two are? Or rather, tell me the top three rice producing states in the country. Let's see if you know the answer in the comment section. The answer for this question will be A. Only one of the three given statements here is correct. Here is this article in the Indian Express: D hyphenating rice and wheat. Do read it. It's a very, very, very interesting article. As you can see here, the wheat stock, that is indicated in blue color, it's extremely low, it's going lower, while the rice stocks are pretty high. Moving on to the next question. Rule 170 of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, recently in the news, is related to which of the following? One, it prohibits Ayush drug manufacturers from advertising their products without approval. Second, it mandates a separate license for fixed combination drugs. Third, it lists the items which are prohibited from being used in Ayush medicines, or none of the above. Rule 170 of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act is related to which of the following? Think about it. The answer here is A. This rule prohibits the Ayush drug manufacturers from advertising their products without the approval and appropriate licensing by the government of India. This is in the news ever since the Patanjali issue came out. As you know, against Patanjali, there were proceedings in the Supreme Court as well. Supreme Court was not happy with their activities or with their advertisements, etc. This rule is regarding that. There's an article again in the Indian Express newspaper about Rule 170 of the Drugs Act, about how this Rule 170 prohibits this kind of an advertisement. Next, question number 4. Which of the following nations is planning to cull hundreds of its wild animals, including elephants and hippopotamus, to provide meat for its population that is reeling under the worst drought in a century? So, one of the African nations amongst the 4 given is planning to kill a lot of its animals because it doesn't have enough food production to sustain its population. Which country is it? Zambia, Namibia, Eritrea, or South Sudan? The answer here is B, Namibia. Namibia is planning to kill a lot of its wild animals just to provide enough food for its population. The country is facing huge droughts and it doesn't have enough food production. There's this article in the Indian Express again. While Namibia is planning to kill hundreds of its majestic wild animals for meat, it is mainly, again, as I said, specifically to ensure enough food availability for its own common population. Next, question number 5. Consider the following statements with regards to lie detector test. First, no lie detector test can be administered in India except on the basis of consent of the accused in accordance with the fundamental right against self-incrimination as enshrined in Article number 20, subpart 2 of the Constitution. Second, a polygraph test operates on the presumption that specific physiological responses are triggered when a person is lying. And third, narcoanalysis involves injection of a drug called sodium pentothal into the accused, inducing a hypnotic or sedated state. How many of these are correct? Now, what we usually don't understand is when we say lie detector test, there are different types of lie detector test. Polygraph test is different, narcoanalysis is different. So there are different types of these tests. It's a bunch of these tests which are together called as lie detector test. First statement, till this part is true, that you can only administer if the accused gives permission. But the wrong fact is this: it is not an Article 20 subpart 2, it is under Article 20 subpart 3 of the Constitution, that is right against self-incrimination. So first statement is wrong. Second and third are correct. Polygraph test operates on presumption that when you are lying, there will be certain other physiological responses that your body will show that will be recorded. And third is also true. Sodium pentothal is injected into the body. It is a drug. Again, none of these tests can claim 100% assurity. That is why these are not admissible in the court in the form of evidence. These are just used by the agencies to derive out more information so that they can carry out their investigation. The answer thus is B. 2 of the 3 given statements here are correct. To end and this is by the way the article in the Hindu newspaper about lie detector tests and their legal validity in India. To end the session today, I have an important infographic for you that tells us about many important facts about the Supreme Court of India. This tells you about the Supreme Court's history, the journey of Supreme Court from how it started and how it has reached the place where we are right now. And also, we have composition and other provisions of the Supreme Court as well. Do save it. This is important for your examination. This brings us to the end of the session. Thank you so much for joining in. I hope you learned something new today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye. Jai Hind.